Hello. So good to be here, Jim. Bless you, and thank you for keeping this going until I could get here. Really appreciate that. I'm trying to get here for about 30 years. So, here we are. And I've been speaking in Europe a lot, and I'm famous over there for my PowerPoint presentation, so I wanted to make sure you could all see mine. Okay, we're good? All right. By the way, I've already met more Italian folks here than I see in Italy. Anyway, early in my chiropractic career, which was around the late Mesozoic era, I believe, I learned at a Parker seminar, actually, that folks who were seeking chiropractic care were only interested in three things. And that was, will it work? How much will it cost? And how long will it take? And I'm not sure if that's changed any. But it never really occurred to me that it's really difficult to answer that question without knowing what it is. So I'm going to ask you right now, what is your it? And you might want to write down your it, and I would suggest that you make it your highest vision of possibilities for anyone who walks into your office. What is your highest vision for them? And I got to tell you, I'm not going to judge where you are if you choose to tell me, because I've been there. There is a spectrum of its in chiropractic, would you agree? And I have been along that entire spectrum, and I like where I am now. But I'm not going to judge anybody for what their it is. All I'm going to tell you is it's really clear for you to be, or excuse me, really important for you to be clear on your it and to tell it like it is. I believe that some of our its limit the possibilities for people more than others. What do you think? When I was only interested in dealing with symptoms related to back pain, that was probably all I was ever going to see, and that was all I ever saw. And then I advanced to thinking that I was treating diseases, and I had some successful results with some diseases. And then I got into, restoration of spinal function, and then I got into subluxation correction. You know what my it is now? This is simply to give somebody the freedom to express their love and wholeness that comes from their innate intelligence in every area of life. And I got to tell you that when I started telling people that's what it was, I really believe I stopped limiting the possibilities for them. Again, I'm not judging. But we all have, I think, what I call a heart it and a head it. Yes? Our heart it, by the way, is probably what you're feeling right now. Did anybody here ever go to a seminar? Does anybody here have a stack of notes from seminars that one day you're going to get to? I just have a suggestion. I heard something about clutter. Have a big bonfire. Invite your friends and toast marshmallows and stuff, because you're never going to get to this stuff. But it doesn't really matter, okay? Our heart it is our highest vision. It's what we feel coming home from a seminar, but unfortunately we get home and the staff looks the same and the walls look the same and it's the same posters and the wife is the same and the dog is the same, and then the first person who walks in on Monday morning is crotchety or cranky or complains about symptoms, and we go right to our head it, which is mostly about what we think people will get or what people will accept or what people, won't be too freaked out about or whatever it is. Do you know what I'm talking about here? And right now you might perceive a huge chasm between your head it and your heart it, and that chasm might be all you're focusing on. And when you focus on chasms, it's really difficult to leap across. Yes? And there's an old Native American expression that you can't leap across a 10-foot chasm in 2 5-foot jumps. So I'm not asking you to jump. I'm asking you to take baby steps. You say probably baby steps wouldn't work across a 10-foot chasm either, but baby steps maybe will help you train to take the 10-foot leap. And the 10-foot leap that I'm asking you to take right now is to dedicate your life to growing your it and growing your ability to deliver that it and to communicate that it. And to develop and grow your vision of yourself so it matches that it and allows you the courage to share it authentically with people. You know what? They'll get it. The only reason they don't get it is because we don't. Or we're not congruent in what they're telling them. How could they get it? And I love that bridge. Because that's what we have the ability to do with every word and every action we have with people, is to invite them over to it. But if we don't give them a clear it to be moving to, how are they going to get there? I don't know what I'm getting so excited about. Then when I realized, when I started just simply sharing my it, because it's a beautiful it. There is no bigger it. The word it starts to sound really strange after a while. There's no bigger it we have to offer, and we have the hugest it there is in our hearts and in our hands. Why are we withholding that from people? If they don't get it, if they don't want it, then you know what? I can be a little sad. But I'm a lot sadder when I try to go to sleep at night thinking I withheld it out of fear. And your it is huge because you take your it into every interaction you have. I've been convinced for years that everything we're looking for in practice, whether it's results or numbers or referrals or fulfillment or joy or love or peace, they all come from that one moment that you're with that person. What if we brought nothing into that interaction but love, but presence, but the highest vision for that person? Check it out. Check it out. Because that's magic. And people will do whatever it takes and travel whatever distance for one moment of that. One moment with somebody who they perceive love and connection and presence, and someone who's holding that highest vision. Because that's what we have to do sometimes. We have to hold the vision for them until they grab it and run with it. Have you experienced that? Some of you guys were in the early Mesozoic era. I love hanging around with people who are older than I am because it's so rare. So let's stop limiting what's possible for people simply with our own incongruence and our own words and our own fear. I learned all this in Panama with Gary. Because you know what? The only it we could communicate to people was the one in our hearts, because I don't speak Spanish. It was beautiful. No, I don't speak Spanish, and I don't understand Spanish. Doubly beautiful. Because I wasn't even tempted to base what I did on what they told me. And they tried to tell me all kinds of stuff, and the only thing I learned to say in Spanish was yo también. Anybody know what that means? Me too. You got pain? Me too. And you know what? I went home to my practice and I started saying that in English. It works in English too. I don't like pain. Who here likes pain? I mean, I recognize that it's a warning signal and all this, and that it's there for my highest good and stuff. I still don't like it. Me too. Everybody's got pain. Life, as the Buddha said, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I was contributing to people's suffering by withholding my it. It's a big realization. So me too, because you know what? You know why it works? Because most of the time when people complain to you about symptoms, they're not questioning you. It's not that they don't get it. They just want to be heard. They just want to be acknowledged. They just want a little encouragement. Now we're like, well, you don't get it. So I listen to people, but I really don't. I listen to people because I know it's important for them to be heard, but I'm trying to listen beyond the words because people rarely tell me what they need through their words. I had a gentleman, and I haven't told the story in a long time, but that came to me for 2 months complaining about his shoulder, which was a mystery to me because he came to my mandatory health talk before he ever started care, and I told him then, I don't do shoulders. I'm not a shoulder fixer. The truth is I was the valedictorian at LACC, so I was the valedictorian of shoulder fixing, but by that point in my career, I had discovered my it. So I told him what my it was, and he seemed to love the idea of the it, but every single time he came in for 2 months, hey, doc, when's my shoulder going to feel better? And twice a month for 2 months, I'm giving him the same answer. I don't know. How would I know? I didn't make your shoulder. I certainly don't know how to fix your shoulder. I don't know if that's the top priority. I don't know if that's what you need. Okay, sounds good. But it only sounded good until the next visit, and we'd go through the same song and dance again. So after a while, I'm thinking, maybe he really doesn't get it. And he's bringing his 5-year-old with him to the office every single time he comes, and he's not letting me check her, even though I am bugging him unmercifully about that. So after 2 months, I go home and I prepare this speech, which I'd never had to do before, saying something like, you know what, this town is loaded with shoulder fixers. It seems like that's what you want. I think you should go there. People need to go where they need to go, right? But before I could deliver this beautiful speech that I was actually quite proud of and looking forward to delivering, I get a little thought flash. First of all, ask them what has changed. Okay, I like that question. So I hear your shoulder's not doing as well as you'd like, but what's going on with this? You coming in here for 2 months. What's improved? What's changed? It's inconceivable to me to get your power turned on for 2 months and not notice anything has changed. And he's like, what do you mean? Well, I don't know what I mean. That's why I'm asking you. So I rattle off some things that are really common. He denies anything's changed. Speech time again. I get excited. But another thought flash. It was a big day for thought flashes. And this one was ask her. Ask her. And I'm like, who's her? And fortunately, there's only one her. And she's out playing with my toys. And she's 5 years old. And I'm thinking this is the silliest thing I've ever done in my life, which, by the way, is a significant statement right there. And so I call Emma in, and I say, Emma, help me out here. I'm not sure why I'm asking, but in this 2 months that you've been coming in and playing with my toys, have you noticed anything different about your dad? And she starts to cry. Yeah, Dr. Stew, he's not beating me up anymore. That right there was my stop beating up your kid adjustment that I learned at LACC. That was sarcasm. Oh, I don't have to explain that. I'm in New Jersey. Okay, good. Because I discovered that, and through my experiences in Panama not being able to talk to people, that our it is unlimited. Our it is unlimited, and we tend to limit it with what we tell people and what we hold in our heart and our mind as we're working with people. There are no limits. None. So what if we took that unlimited possibility into every interaction? That's love, by the way. Fixing people is not love. Guys, I'm sorry. I know guys are big fixers. But if we had enough glue, we'd pour it into the San Andreas Fault and fix that, right? We're fixing species, but that's not love because, again, we don't know what they need. I didn't know this guy was hitting his daughter. And if I did, it probably would have messed up the whole thing. That's why Panama was such a beautiful thing. That's why we when you're just in Atlas only and people getting up out of wheelchairs and girls are getting their hearing restored and all this stuff is going on, it's like, wow, maybe this stuff really works. And it works a lot better when I don't limit it with my intellect and my fears and my own expectations and agendas and false responsibilities. It's not your responsibility for them to heal up. It's their responsibility. But they have everything they need to do that. Let's just not limit it. Let's just not get in the way. Let's tell it like it is. Because it doesn't get any better than it. Doesn't. So, who's ready to take this leap? This is all I'm asking us to consider. Let's make this our journey to develop the biggest it we can hold, deliver it authentically, and be prepared because every step I did to bring my head and my heart it together brought me more joy, more peace, more fulfillment, more money, more fun. So I'm not asking you to do something horrible here. Grow your it. Because the world needs our it. Would you say? Would you say that people are literally dying for it? So, as somebody said, there's already been several people misquoted here today, so I might as well go ahead and do it too. As I say, thank you for loving what I love, which is you. And I know who said it now, Dickie Santo. The innate in me blesses the innate in you. Peace.
It's all